Some of the biggest gains in the crypto market in a bull run comes from new altcoins launching at the right time. And so I want to introduce you to 5 altcoins that at the right time, and I believe that we're going to see a rebound here soon in the market, they're going to provide us with a lot of multiples. Now, whether they launch instantly at 5, 10, 15x or more, or whether it takes a little bit of time, either way, I think all of these coins individually are highly promising, and you will soon agree when you have a look at what I'm about to show you. Before we get into what these 5 coins are, first of all, I do want to talk about some of the details around other launches that have recently happened and the nuanced details in these launches. Before I do even that though, don't forget, if you do find yourself enjoying today's video or you learn something new, go down there, hit the like button, guys, because that helps support all I do around here and makes me pretty happy when I do see that. And also subscribe so you can, of course, achieve all your crypto goals this bull run. Make no mistake, altcoin launches aren't always sunshine and rainbows. Like with Layer 0, you can see here at launch, and it actually fell down until, it's come back up again, which is great. But Wormhole, same story. ZK Sync, another similar story as well. Now, we can attribute this to many different factors. I think the most important thing we have to consider is these coins all pretty much launched not at optimal times. The market was coming down. So in a bull sense, when the market is actually going up and up and up, when new coins launch, there's more liquidity, people are more excited, and therefore they want to buy in. So these 5 coins today pretty much fit that characteristic right off the rip. It'll look something more so like a Pith Network, where it kind of went sideways for a bit, then launched, okay, at like 3-4x. Same as Celestia, they'll likely launch and do quite well, and Ondo, okay? So I would pretty much say right at the rip that they'd pretty much do something like Pith, Celestia, and Ondo, because ultimately, guys, it's got nothing to do with tokenomics, at least on launch, unless they are just straight up horrible, or the teams themselves do something or post something to kind of scare away the retail. Maybe it's something like a new token unlock or a new investor round or something that's obviously going to inhibit retail from wanting to buy. So again, we can look through all of these. They all pretty much more or less look the same. Again, the only difference here is when the projects are launching. And by the way, generally speaking, the way that you should look at these launches, okay, whether it looks at a 2x on launch or whether it's simply, a 50% gain on launch, and no matter how much money you decide to make, it should always be money, in my opinion, on financial advice that should look to complement your bag if you don't want to hold that coin forever. Launches don't always have to be, good coins. They don't always have to be coins that you are completely convicted in, as long as you've discerned that this might be a good opportunity to make some money. So in this case, of course, you can buy coins, then you can sell them for a quick profit. Ultimately, do this many, many times, like we can see here, do this 5 times over, and there is a chance you can pretty much almost like hypothetically 4x your bag, more or less, so to speak, and ultimately allow you to make more multiples, possibly in the coins you have more conviction on, for the top side of the bull run. So let's talk the projects. I'm going to not spend too much time on this. I'm going to try to make this video as fast as I possibly can. And I want to do something that most people don't do. Okay. I want you to tell me which of these coins you want me to make a full video on. One of these I already have. The other ones I've already sort of briefly spoken about before. So please go down there, and the most voted or the most commented project I will make a video on in the coming week. Okay. So the first one here is Berachain. Now, this one can literally be the definition of looks are deceiving. This project looks pretty comical. This project actually started life as an NFT, okay, NFT project. They've now formed one of the most highly invested VC projects of the bull run right here. Over $100 million has been invested in this coin, with the likes of Samsung, huge, Hypersphere Ventures. They've even got Arrington. These are all S-tier investors, mind you. The co-founder of Polygon, Sandeep, Polychain, Animoca Ventures, and even Mustafa, the creator and founder of Celestia. These guys are stacked, and that's just me kind of glossing through that list. What this actual project is a layer 1, but looking to redesign the way that a layer 1 actually is. You see, most proof of stake layer 1s, what they do is they have validators. If you want to validate the network to earn rewards, you throw in a whole bunch of stake like Ethereum, right? You have to have 32 ETH, you stake that, you begin getting rewards. Now that we have the likes of EigenLayer, you can actually get rewards with less ETH than having to throw up 32 at a time. And then you also have people on the applications on the network, like liquidity providers, right, on these DEXs, providing liquidity that way. But the problem is you've got all this money floating around the overall ecosystem, but you've got validators, stakers, and you have liquidity providers. This project looks to kind of combine both of those and allow it to basically unify the TVL, which is crazy to think about. Now, there's going to be, I think, 3 tokens on this network, and pretty much DeFi baked into the project itself, basically a GameFi loop, if you will, or a DeFi loop, to allow people who decide to actually stake and provide liquidity the chance to then earn rewards in many different ways. Okay, so I kind of want to talk about the sort of loop here in a second. It can get a little bit, not too complicated, but if you want to dive into it, it can get quite complicated. So I'll keep it nice and surface level. They have the 3 tokens. They have the BGT, or the Berachain governance token, which you get for actually providing liquidity to one of the many applications on the ecosystem. And then the BGT token itself, you can choose to stake in a validator. The validator, of course, validates the network, validates the blocks. You get some of the rewards. They also have their own native token, stablecoin rather, Honey, and you can also use any of the regular stablecoins on the network as well. So with Ethereum's proof of stake model, okay, there's no collaboration between protocols and the validator set like I just explained to you. There's again no common goal. These guys look to pretty much create a true decentralized ecosystem, or decentralized government, so to speak, by incentivizing everyone to work on the overall growth and goal of the network, okay? Protocols are probably less concerned with the economic security of the chain they're deployed on than validators are, just as validators are less concerned with how the protocol activity is going, and they're just more concerned with how much rewards they can basically get, okay? So Berachain would be the first layer 1 to implement an enriched bribe system designed to align all parties. Overall, what is an ecosystem if there isn't any sense of teamwork or unity? This is how that sort of DeFi loop actually works. So you provide liquidity in any of the ecosystem dApps. You get BGT token, which is the Berachain governance token, in which you can delegate to validators. Validators process the blocks. They get you rewards back, of course, and those rewards can be actually redistributed back into the ecosystem dApps. And in that same way as well, these validators can also single out particular ecosystem dApps and look to provide them more inflation, more of those token rewards, if they somehow have this weird bribe system where maybe those ecosystem dApps say, hey, we'll give you, the validator, some of our native token if you give us some of your inflation. So it's like this really, really unique model they're calling proof of liquidity, right? If you provide liquidity and you can show proof of that via the BGT token, you get all these different types of rewards. It's honestly amazing. As sort of simple as it sounds, this can get quite complicated, and you can really let your mind begin going different places and thinking about all the different possibilities here, okay? So I love it. I think it's going to do fantastic, hence why it's got some massive investors and a lot of money thrown at it as well. Now, if you guys, of course, want to know what investors are the best, we are growing out this list of the top VCs to watch, as well as all their portfolios and their website links with the scores on them as well. In the private community, go sign up down there. Level 1 and above will give you access. The next project is one I'm honestly super excited for, and it's called Babylon. You may have heard of it. Now, these guys are looking to take all of the liquidity, all those billions of dollars invested in Bitcoin, and allow those of you who are just holding the tokens, doing nothing, to actually put that to work and earn some passive rewards by using that to secure other proof of stake networks. Okay, so Bitcoin, of course, a little bit differently the way it's designed. It's proof of work, and therefore, there's no smart contracts that can be built on it. And even if you wanted to leverage a Bitcoin on another network, let's say a proof of stake network like Stacks, for example, it's always wrapped tokens, there's bridges involved, and it can be a little bit dangerous. There's definitely more attack vectors. This does it differently. You can actually hold custody of your Bitcoin tokens yourself whilst, securing other networks. Now, it can do any proof of stake network, and you can pick and choose which ones you want to actually provide some of that security to, and therefore receive the rewards. It's actually insane. I'll leave it here because it is a very simple protocol to actually describe. But again, you definitely want to look into it, especially if you do hold some Bitcoin. This is going to hit right into the very niche area of the Bitcoin, so to speak, narrative of the bull, which I think is definitely going to be one of the better performers overall. And these guys also have proof in the pudding, right? They have a lot of investors actually as well. 47, so more than Berachain, a little bit less money. I think it's still over $100 million invested in this project, with the likes of LD Capital, IOSG, Galaxy Digital, huge investors over here, Polychain. These are all S tier, by the way, Paradigm. These are all S tier investors. Even Mantle's invested in it. The list goes on. So, you guys, again, have a look at this coin. Keep a close eye on it. Go follow them on Twitter. Go follow all these projects on Twitter, matter of fact, because some of these are launching very soon as well. Coin 3 is one I've spoken about many times before, so I will keep this one super quick because you will know I love it. constantly ranks inside the top 45 to 50x on my tier list videos, and that is Nillion. Okay, Nillion is a great project, but not just because it's a great project, it's because of the team itself. You can see here it hits 3 massive narratives: AI, DeepIn, and PETs. PETs are somewhat okay, but really storage, okay? Storage, security, technically privacy. I mean, it hits a lot, okay? It's basically a meta layer underneath even layer 0 projects to do things like computations. It's basically a cloud, okay? It's basically a very, very secure cloud. It doesn't even have like a blockchain per se, and it computes things in such a secure way, it's basically impenetrable. It's basically even more secure than a private server. So this is going to incentivize governments and some of these large Web 2 based public and private entities to want to actually use something like this. And I believe in this project. I truly, truly do, because of the team. The team has had experience in many other projects, particularly one individual here, Andrew. Andrew has had experience building many other what are called unicorn projects, so projects hitting $1 billion market cap in crypto. Reserve hasn't hit $1 billion market cap yet, but it is actually doing really well right now. And these guys are widely adopted in the Americas, and mainly here, he was the founding CMO of Hedera, okay, as the CMO. So again, that's right up his alley. He's the chief marketing officer, I believe, right now of Nillion. He's a co-founder as well. And if you just hear this man speak on some of his speeches, you will begin to realize some of the key principles that I bring up in my Fundamentals research plan. Andrew basically founded a lot of the ideas that I've kind of come to a conclusion on. And again, I've made a video on this. I'll actually link it down below. The last 1000x crypto moonshot. This was way before we had an idea of the tokenomics. It's probably not going to 1000x, but you never know. I highly doubt it though. It's probably not going to 1000x. Either way, it should perform very well because again, it's not just got the protocol, the idea, the narratives, the meme, the uniqueness down. It's one of a kind, truly is. But it also has a team able to market it. Okay, so if you have a look at the investors on this, not amazing investors. These guys are launching on CoinList though very, very soon. So there will be more invested in it. But as for the actual VCs themselves, not a lot, which is actually a good thing. And I know these VCs have long unlocks, so they're not going to likely dump on us this bull run. Project 4 is one I've covered again in other videos, speaking about new altcoins to keep an eye on, but it's coming closer to launch date. That's Hyperlane. Hyperlane is built on the whole modularity area as well, permissionless interoperability. So if you're someone that missed out on Wormhole or Layer 0, or you are someone who wants to double down on this area, this is going to be a great opportunity for you because this one is permissionless, okay? So that pretty much means anyone can go ahead and plug and play this project and any other network out there instantly, okay? There's none of this permissioned where you have to get access to this and that. Every single network that is connected to Hyperlane, if you are a project wanting to connect to this bridge ecosystem, you'll be able to, okay? So Interchain Highway is what they're basically calling it. But what I love about this project is that you can actually customize your consensus. You can customize security to make it extremely secure, and you can increase or decrease the security depending on who you're connecting to. Okay, let me read out some of the details on Hyperlane. Okay, so anyone can permissionlessly deploy Hyperlane to any blockchain environment, whether it's a layer 1, a rollup, or an app chain, allowing that chain to communicate seamlessly with other chains on which Hyperlane has been deployed. Its interchain security modules give developers control over the security model, allowing them to configure, compose, and customize security according to the needs of their application. Developers can actually even build interchain applications that instantly span across multiple blockchains. So again, it's pretty much a similar story of Layer 0, Wormhole, and so on. But again, they have their nuances. Arguably, they're probably going to even try to connect to more networks, seeing as they are permissionless as well. It's going to be a really, really good incentivization for these new projects. Now, again, they actually have, I think, over $10-20 million of investments. Not the biggest, but they do have some big names as well. Galaxy Digital, Blockdaemon, and Hypersphere as well. So they're all 3 S-tier investors. Oh, I missed Circle. 4 S-tier investors. 1 S-tier investor is probably the equivalent to about 5 A-tier investors. So when you have 4 of these things smashed into one, you're looking at a high quality project, okay? They normally do a lot of the vetting for us in most cases. You just have to make sure they're not going to dump on you on launch once you know the tokenomics. And lastly, let's talk about a new layer 1 blockchain as well. This one is very EVM focused, so very Ethereum focused. Actually, it's pretty much its main use case in this case, right? And that's Monad. You may have heard of it. It's been around for a little while here, hasn't launched just yet, but these guys are basically scaling Ethereum. So the unique selling point of this isn't amazing. It's not some like a new next level thing, but basically they're saying, hey, we can do Ethereum faster. That's all it really is, right? They're allowing parallel transactions to actually occur, right? Parallel execution, which means they can process a whole bunch of transactions simultaneously and keep the order of those transactions, okay? So applications built for Ethereum can be ported to Monad without any code changes with the full Ethereum RPC compatibility, so that infrastructure like MetaMask and Etherscan can all be used on Monad seamlessly. They're aiming for 10,000 TPS. Of course, this will increase over time, which is about 1 billion transactions over a day period, while offering 1 second block time and 1 second finality. So you will notice if you do, or developers porting over their applications onto Monad, it will allow, again, that full Ethereum compatibility, so you can work across Ethereum, use MetaMask and so on, but it's just so much faster and of course a lot cheaper as well. So overall, I mean, look, the USP on this thing, in my opinion, isn't like next level amazing, but I still think it'll do well, again, because there is a need for a project like this. You can argue all day, every day that, hey, well, why not just use layer 2? But layer 2s, they're very centralized, okay? They're very centralized because you only normally have 1 to 5 sequences or validators securing the transactions on that layer 2, bringing it over to Ethereum. They can, of course, be many, many issues involved with that. So this is a little bit different as well. Now as for the investing rounds, right? $19 million was the seed round. Dragonfly Capital, Shima Capital, they're pretty big. But Naval over here, Naval, of course, you guys might know who this guy is. I mean, he is an absolute genius when it comes to anything tech. This guy's a serial entrepreneur, I believe. Yeah, if you see this guy investing in something, you know it's got to at least be somewhat good, right? Paradigm, Electric Capital, these are A tier and S tier investor respectively as well, but $225 million invested in that undisclosed round. So in my opinion, while the USP isn't amazing for it, there's obviously something there, okay? So of course, given that, I'm going to add it to this list for sure. So let me know what you think down below. Which altcoin stuck out to you the most? Which one is missing in your portfolio? Are you missing a high quality layer 1? Are you missing a DeFi project? Are you missing sort of layer 0 or an interoperability play? Let me know. Thanks, guys. Talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.